Hello, everybody.
Hi.
All right, so we are doing a video explaining what we're doing with our lives. So, to start with, in case you're not familiar, in case you haven't talked to us in a while or have no idea who we are, I'm Bobby.
I'm Carrie.
That's Carrie. So I have been working.
We have 4 kids.
We have 4 kids.
A girl and 3 boys.
Mm-hmm.
Age 6 to almost a year.
Almost a year. So, it's been fun stuff. Lots of kids. Not really that many.
Yeah, it's not really lots of kids.
Not to us.
But it almost feels like enough.
So anyway, so I have been a construction superintendent building new homes for the last couple 3 years. And Carrie's been a stay-at-home mom and started a side business.
Back in October
Yeah.
of 2019, I started working for my sister, who is an author. And then recently, just last month, I picked up another author who is Australian. It's fancy. I was going to say exotic and fancy, and then it got weird. But things are going pretty well, and it's exciting, and I think I could make some money being a virtual assistant for authors. Get a couple more authors and provide for this family.
Yeah, so basically what we've been thinking is back in 2016, we were thinking a lot about doing a tiny house. At that time, we had 2 kids, and we were like, hey, this could be cool. It could be awesome. Cut down expenses, live frugally, and, just live in a tiny house, see if we like it. And we didn't, but we did buy some land in Spur.
You mean we didn't do it, not that we didn't like it.
Yeah, we didn't do it. We didn't end up doing it. So we bought some land. We bought a lot in a little town called Spur, Texas. It's east of Lubbock, which is in North Texas. If you don't know where Lubbock is, you're not alone. But yeah, it's basically in the middle of nowhere, top of Texas, kind of by the Panhandle area.
I feel like people know where Dallas is, so we could say it's like 5 hours northwest of Dallas.
It's in the middle of nowhere, Texas, up in the topish portion. Anyway.
Population is like 2,000 or less.
I think it's like 1,200.
Yeah.
So really tiny town. Bought a lot out there. Haven't ever done anything with it. We were planning on building a tiny house there, and we didn't end up doing that. So since then, I had a handyman business for a while, and then got a job where I currently am for a home builder in New Mexico. And so we've been here in New Mexico for the last 2.5 years. And yeah, kind of, I guess, why are we thinking of changing?
Well, I feel like we've been wanting to do a tiny house or something, and then we kind of switched to an RV because we wouldn't have to build it.
Yeah.
And then we just kind of were waiting till we felt like we could make money remotely, because that was something we've been trying to figure out for a long time. It's like, yeah, we'd love to live in the middle of nowhere and live in an RV and travel in an RV and stuff, but that means we have to make money from wherever, and that's kind of a hard thing to do. But now that I've got a virtual assistant job, as long as I have a computer and internet, I can do it. So
yeah, that's been kind of the hurdles with the whole tiny house thing, like Carrie was saying, is being able to make money wherever we are, and having the money to build a tiny house. Because tiny houses sound like a great idea, but they're kind of expensive to build, and you can't really get like construction loans to build them or anything. So it's not like a normal house. Like this is our second house that we've owned, so we haven't had any trouble getting a home. But if we were to build a tiny house, then we have to have like all the money to build it in pocket already. So that's where that gets a little tricky. So that's where we're like, hey, we can get an RV, and we started looking into the RV stuff. And it's just this idea that we keep coming back to for the last like 4 or 5 years. Like, hey, we could do this. This could be cool. We could try it.
Because we love the idea of just like downsizing and just having the space that we need, rather than having like giant hallways that we just walk through. Just have the spaces that we actually need, like a table to sit at and beds to sleep on. Like, usually we're walking through our giant house just to get to another chair or bed.
Yeah.
Or, whatever. So it's like, let's cut down to the space we actually need, and let's spend less money on, like, what is it going to be? Probably like half the cost living in an RV from what we pay on a mortgage for our house. It's like a really big difference financially.
It's going to cut down our expenses a lot.
And hopefully we'll have more time together as a family if we're doing virtual business and we don't have as many expenses. So we shouldn't have to work as long to make less money.
Yes. And one of the other big changes that's happened more recently is that we are almost out of our debt. So we've been working for the last 7-8 years.
I'd say that we've really been working on it for like 2 years.
We've been
like we made a little bit of headway early in our marriage, but I feel like until you stopped going to school, we didn't really start paying off student loans very heavily.
But we've been wanting to get out of debt for a long time, so we started doing Dave Ramsey stuff. If you're not familiar with that, so doing his baby steps and getting rid of our credit cards and paying off all of our credit card debt and
student loans.
Like Carrie said, we hadn't really made any progress on those for a long time until just the last few years when we really started knocking those out. So I think when we first started actually paying attention to finances and looking at our money, we had like $47,000.
Yeah, I feel like it was like $50,000. It was really close.
It was around $50,000 in debt, and we were like, "Whoa, we don't know anything about money." And and so we stopped spending and started getting more of a handle on our budget. And then just probably the last 2 or 3 years, we've been trying to hit our debt really hard and get rid of it. And now we're not completely out, but we're pretty close.
We're pretty close to getting out of student loan debt.
Yeah, student loan debt.
But we bought an RV and a couple of cars.
Yeah.
So I think we're probably in like the same amount of debt now that we were in.
But the RV counts as a house if we're living in it.
Yeah, and we're going from owing like $170,000 on a house to owning $20,000 on an RV.
Yeah, but anyway, so one of the reasons that we're wanting to change is to, like Carrie said, downsize and simplify, and hopefully be able to live off of less so that we don't have to work as much and can have more time together as a family. And I kind of grew up in the country, half and half in the country, but I really like the country living, being out away from urban areas and being able to run around and stuff. So I would like that for our kids, and so that's a big draw for me. And one of the big changes we're doing, besides selling our house and getting rid of a bunch of stuff and moving into an RV, is that Carrie's going to be working and I'm not going to be working, so I'll be taking care of the kids and trying to homeschool them as well. So,
and I have not been doing a great time homeschooling, so that's another big part of it for me. It's like Bobby has just done, even the little bit of homeschooling that he's done is more effective than the homeschooling that I've tried to do. Like, I feel like I get super frustrated, and like I was trying to teach Lily how to read, and we made it like 3 days, and we both ended up like close to teaching. But Bobby and Lily started working on reading like right around bedtime, and she actually was learning and enjoying it and looking forward to it. So I was like, maybe it would be cool if we tried to switch roles.
Yeah.
Because sometimes I'm like, I wish I could be contributing to finances and just have things that I can do and be done, rather than the stuff of everyday life where you're always washing dishes and planning meals and making meals and cleaning up meals and changing all the diapers. And I'm still going to be helping with those sorts of things, the way that Bobby's been helping with those things. But it won't be primarily me doing those things. So that'll be nice. Especially starting out. Well, it'll probably be pretty close to normal since I only have the 2 authors I'm working for. So it's only going to be like a half-day kind of thing.
Yeah, that's one of the reasons that I'll be quitting my job here in a week is that Carrie doesn't really have any more time to get more clients or to ramp up the work that she's doing. She can't really do any more than she's already doing right now, just because she doesn't have time with taking care of kids and stuff. So it's kind of an interesting time. And right now we're in the middle of the whole COVID thing. So places are just starting to open up again. So it's kind of a crazy time to be like, hey, let's sell our house and not have a place to stay. I mean, we're going to have a place to stay, but, kind of get rid of the home base type thing and go on an adventure.
It's May 9th, 2020.
Yeah.
Just to date this in the COVID.
The COVID-ness.
Stuff.
So, yeah. That's,
pretty much the
that's
gist
pretty
of it,
much
huh?
it.
So we're starting our vlog up again in the Flowers YouTube channel to vlog about all of this stuff we're doing. A little bit about COVID-19, I'm sure, especially if things get crazier. But mostly just about our life, our RV life, our living in a nowhere little town life. Bobby being a stay-at-home dad for the first time since we've been married with the kids. That's gonna be
We'll see how I handle that.
We'll see how I handle that. I feel like when was it? It was just you had a day off of work, or it was a Saturday. I think it was last Saturday that I was working all day, and it was hard for me to just like step away. I felt like I had to tell Bobby like, okay, you have to do this or that, but like he already knows. So it was weird because I felt like I still needed to be like in charge, but it was hard to step away. So we'll see how I do with it too.
Yeah.
I'll try not to step on your toes, but be helpful. It'll be a balance. It'll be weird. It'll be weird, and we're gonna video about things.
Yeah.
So it'll be fun.
We'll get some updates on how things go, and if it doesn't work out, we have backup plans. So we'll hopefully it works out though.
Should we talk about the backup plan? That could be a separate video.
Yeah, we need to do a video on picking an RV. We can do a video on the backup plan.
Something else I had in mind. Oh, you're gonna be building that shoffice. Like, I feel like that's kind of a big part of the plan. I'm gonna have an office space, so we're not trying to do that in the RV. So a lot of people, they talk about like, oh, we're living in an RV and we don't have any stuff anymore, and they have their stuff secretly in storage or still at home. They have a house like full of their stuff.
Yeah.
But we're selling our house and we're building a pretty decently big shed that's gonna hold like all the stuff that we would have in our house, in our garage and stuff. All the mattresses from the kids and kids' beds and the couch, because I love our couch. Mm-hmm. I'm sure we'll have a house again at some point.
Yeah, we're not planning on living in an RV forever. So we're like, let's not get rid of the stuff that we like, just the stuff we don't really care that much about. So we're going to be building a half shed, half office space for Carrie to work in and to keep all our stuff in. Because eventually, if we love living in Spur, but we don't love living in an RV, then and assuming that the money situation works out well, then I'll probably build us a custom house because I can do that. And if it doesn't work out, then we'll probably be moving back to the Dallas area, and I'll get a job, and then we'll be moving back into our house probably. So then we need our stuff again.
But we're planning on keeping the RV either way.
Yeah.
So that's what like really helped us to buy an RV, because we're like, well, even if like we end up having a job, we could use the RV to travel the country every year for a week or 2 weeks or whatever.
Go camping trips and stuff. Carrie's not a big camper. I always loved camping. So.
But I think I could do it if I had a bed.
If we had an RV, that was pretty much a house then.
Yeah, well, basically my problem with camping is like I love most of it. I feel like most of the time when we go camping, it's like just a one night thing. Yeah. So I feel like the whole thing is just setting up and packing up, breaking down. Yeah. So I feel like it's like kind of a waste of time. Like the whole time you're just setting up and breaking down and trying to build a fire to make dinner and everybody's hungry, and then you wake up and you're trying to build a fire and everyone's hungry for breakfast, and then you gotta leave. And that's all it is. But if we had an RV, I feel like we would go for a longer amount of time. Like we could even just do 3-day weekends instead of just one night, because I would be able to actually sleep well. Like
Sleeping on the ground stinks after you're 12.
And I have a really bad back from having 3 kids.
4 kids.
4 kids.
The first one was fine. It was the other 3 that messed it up.
No, my back was pretty messed up before we even got married, but I don't know why. But having kids made it worse for sure. So
yeah,
I cannot sleep on a hard floor. I can't even lay on a floor for more than like 5 minutes before I'm like, my back won't move.
Yeah.
Help me.
So anyway,
Old lady that can't get up.
that'll be enough for this video. So we'll do another video on how we picked an RV and our struggle with that. And then what was the other thing? Backup plan.
Yeah, the backup plan.
All right. So join us on our journey. Subscribe. Comment down below. Let us know what you think. If we're crazy, we don't care. We're doing it anyway. Boom.
Yeah.
What's the point of being young and dumb if you can't be young and dumb when you're young?
We're not that young though.
We're pretty young.
You're over 30. I'm almost 30.
I'm 23.
No.
That's what everybody says.
But this is our last chance.
Last chance.
We have to settle down soon. Yeah. Like 5 years from now, we need to know what we're doing. So it's our last chance to try out this dream. We might as well try it. See if we love it or hate it, and it's worth it either way.
Yeah. Bye.
Bye.